They killed marriage. Now they're coming for monogamy. What is the new future? What does the new future relationship look like in our country, in the West, here in America? It looks like polyamory. It looks like men with multiple women and vice versa, women with multiple men. Everybody belongs to the streets. So who is at the forefront of this right now? My good friend, Kevin Samuels. I mean, I don't know the guy. I like his videos. I watch him. He has a lot of good points to say. But the problem is, his fatal flaw is he has this thing called men don't cheat. They just exercise options. Talk about trying to pull a fast one on somebody. Talk about the slick, the chicanery, the foolishness of the statement alone. So what he wants to do is he wants to change the definition of cheating so that it doesn't apply to men. Does that sound a little bit familiar to you? Sounds kind of feminist, doesn't it? It sounds kind of like how a lot of politics, they'll try and change the meaning of terms to change the narrative. We need to change, really just start to change the narrative. See what's going on? Let me see if I got some on my face. Anyway, what he's trying to do is he's trying to basically set the pretext for behavior that is acceptable for a man that's perceived of high value. Now, this term high value, it gets thrown around a lot nowadays. But basically, how he defines it is somebody who has a certain amount of money. He's recognized as his network. He's recognized for his net worth. He is a person of value in his community, and amongst his peers, he's around other high value men. But generally, people are not going to find said person because he also says that this person makes around 10 grand a month. Okay. Generally, less than 10% of the population of men actually make that money. Let alone, it goes further and further down if you control for heterosexuality and singleness, right? Or at least ability to want to find a mate. So this man is inherently scarce. But what's going to actually happen is in his way of bringing about a new culture of women looking for a high value men, he's creating this thing that's called, men don't cheat, they just exercise options thing. So basically, his argument is that a lot of women, they actually are lucky to be with a guy like that, which I would argue they are. However, what he's saying is, because there's going to be so many women that want the same type of guy, therefore you need to accept the fact that he might step out on you sometimes. So long as he does it, on the low, and so long as he doesn't embarrass you, so long as he doesn't bring home that baby or an STD, therefore you should accept it. And you should be grateful for the fact that he's providing for you, that he's giving you all you would ask for, a lifestyle. He's providing for your children. Okay. He's not the only one who says this. There are a lot of other dating coaches who kind of make this argument, which is basically this type of man, he's so much in high demand, you're lucky to get him down. You're lucky to tie a man like this down. And if you do, you better accept the fact that men of that caliber are going to cheat on you. But we're not going to call it cheating. We're going to call it exercising options, right? So what's going on is they're setting the forefront and the precedent for what the feminists have already laid the groundwork for. See, first off, it started with destroying the marriage. But who can we see that is a direct case study for what I'm arguing? Go and look at any inner city black population. Low income, low graduation rate, low mobility, meaning they don't have a lot of money to go up and down or go from down to the social economic status to high. Their mobility is very, very low. High crime rate, right? Generally a lower life expectancy. All this happens. Why? Why does all this happen? This is coming from NCAA. This is coming from NAACP's mouth. It is the lack of a father in the black home. That is what's happening, okay? So what you're telling me is, what they're arguing is this: the more broken the family, the less statistical outcomes across the board for a child. So this is what's going to happen. Well, let me step back a second. The marriage in the black community is destroyed. It is done. 1 out of 4 black women marry. Single motherhood rate is 70%, over 70%. And it just so happened to start after welfare was implemented, and people, not just black people, but people were encouraged to have kids out of wedlock because they get paid more. So marriage is destroyed in the black community. But you can't just stop there. We have to now go for the relationships. We have to continue to break down that fabric. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this type of rhetoric that a lot of these dating coaches and a lot of these, public figures are promoting, it's not just going to be an isolated event where it's women who are looking for this man who makes $10,000. No, the problem is high value is a perception. High value is a subjective term, meaning that high value can mean something different to other people. For example, somebody who really makes you laugh. If you're a girl, somebody who really makes you laugh, somebody who you really care deeply about, who you have a history with, who you can see a future with, who you can see yourself building with, who you really admire and you cherish. You look up to them. They are high value. You're going to perceive that person to be of high value. So what are you going to do about it? What you're going to do about it is you're going to basically, what you're going to do about it is you're going to say, look, man, I really care about this man, and he has such a lot going for him, and he has a lot of potential. So therefore, I'm going to accept the terms that Kevin Samuels introduces, which is what? If he steps out, it's all right, because that's how men are. This is our nature, X and Y, right? The last video I talked about. The problem is what you're doing is you're showing that you're not worthy of respect. You're showing that you are not worthy of dignity. It doesn't matter how much money anybody makes. You cannot be bought. Your morals and who you are as a person, your sense of pride, or not pride, but your sense of duty and self-respect are more important than any amount of money, any amount of status. But what he's trying to show you is if you want a high value man, you need to act like a low value person. So the way this is going to start eroding monogamy is that women are going to start accepting the same type of dating styles that men generally do. Men who have any game, men who have any sense of drive and prowess or confidence or charisma. They're the type of guys to not be in relationships, to go to and fro from one bed to the next, one woman to the next, juggling multiple women, right? That's the type of person. What's going to happen is the woman is going to start being like that as well, but on a polyamorous side. I think that's the term, correct me if I'm wrong. But basically, she's going to accept the fact that he is like that. And she's going to learn to live with that. So you have people like Marquette Devon Burton, Myron from Fresh and Fit podcast, a lot of the dating coaches, who else? Kevin Samuels. They're all kind of presenting this cultural ideology for these men to adopt. It basically reinforces their already primal nature to not want to commit to women, right? And this is why I brought up the black community. Because in the black ghettos, you see a demo or a tutorial or a case study of exactly what is going to be the outcome of the culture, the new culture that's coming, the anti-monogamous culture, right? You already see it now. You got Tinder, you have people living non-committal lives already. They got a job, they're traveling, they're doing their own thing. This is just going to further solidify the destruction of the bond between the man and the woman. Why? Because the man is going for what he desires sexually, which can be different at any time, which can be his sexual attention span is connected to his thumb. It's connected to whatever he sees when he swipes on Instagram. It is such a flippant and schizophrenic and bipolar desire. It goes up and down. But what people like Kevin Samuels are trying to teach the women and convince the women is you have to accept this, especially if he makes more money than you, especially if he's taking care of you. You get what I'm saying? Because yes, there's a high value men, but most women can't obtain that. But what's going to happen is they're just going to settle down and really love and grow to pedestalize the man they're with, or not necessarily pedestalize, but perceive as high value. So they're going to accept lower and lower terms that the man's going to offer, i.e., I'm going to be able to step out when I want. So long as I don't let you know about it, you just know that's just how I am. You know I still love you. No, that's false. He doesn't love you if he steps out on you. That's like saying, I love my job so much that I'm going to look for another job. I love my job so much that I'm never on time. I love my job so much that I do a lot of insubordinate stuff in my job, and I put my own employeeship at risk. I potentially breach my contract a lot, but I love my job. No, you don't. Empirically and by your own deeds. Nobody cares about your words. By your own deeds, you do not. But what the modern man is trying to teach you, ladies, is this. You need to accept the way I am, i.e., a man who just likes to use women as a masturbatory device. You need to accept the fact that I'm going to want to just sleep around, and so long as I keep it on the low, and so long as you don't know about it, you should accept it. You are a fool if you ever accept terms like this, because what you're doing is you're saying you're going to put yourself more prone to STDs, you're going to put yourself more prone to a heartbreak, you're going to put yourself more prone to being an embarrassment to your family, to your peers. You're putting yourself in a low respect position. You are destroying your own self-image, your own value, your own worth. You completely decimate dignity by what? By accepting disrespectful men, because that's exactly what it is. I don't care what terminology you want to use. I don't care how you rationalize it. I don't care what proof or case study you. No. There are certain things you just don't do, and I know there's just certain things you don't do. You do not cheat on people. I'm sorry. Like, you can call it whatever you want, and you can try and rationalize it all you want. But reality, the real rationality, I'm making this video to warn you guys of, this is what happens when you don't follow real wisdom, like what's in Proverbs, right? Like what's in Proverbs. When you don't follow real wisdom and you follow the world, and you follow maybe capitalism and the free market, this and that, when you don't couple that with wisdom, you're always going to end up eventually inverting morality. Because yes, it might sound convincing. Yes, there might be a valid argument, or better yet, a strong argument. But the problem is there's a lot of contradictions, and if you're not wise enough, and if your ears aren't perked up enough, if you don't have wisdom to accompany you as you go throughout your day, you're always going to get fooled. Not just by people on YouTube, but by yourself, by teachers. That's why you have to seek out wisdom yourself. You got to pray for it. That's what God's here for. He's here to give you tons of it. He gives it most liberally, I think, of all the skills, wisdom. So that's the end of the video. Peace.